Greetings and salutations again, my fellow Illumineers. It's me, your boy JDZ, and we're back at it again with episode 7 of the World Class Procast. I am your host with the most, but holding it down for me this episode is going to be your current and reigning Disney Lorcana World Champion, your current and reigning Disney Lorcana Vice Champion, and two-time DLC champion, Mr. Frank Karsten. Oh, and by the way, on voice, we have three-time Golden Mickey, now three-time Golden Mickey, Jonathan Lam. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today on this episode of the Procast. I'm interested and excited to hear about your experiences in the land down under and what you think this metagame means, as now we finally have some new information about what is going to be happening in Winterspell. So we'll start with you first, DKP, since I see you first. How you been? How was your trip?
Yo, what's up? So yeah, today I just got home on Wednesday after like 30 hours of travel. Melbourne's always kind of hard because it's so far away, but I feel fine. Just had a big nap and yeah, now I'm ready to talk about the event.
Absolutely, me too. I'm kind of cooked myself. It took a long time to get back. That is a painful flight. But you, Ed, you were also there. How was your journey? How was your trip? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, 16-hour flight. Honestly, I'm kind of used to it at this point. Like, we did quite a bit of 16-hour flights in the past couple months, so I feel like just another day, straight to the office right afterwards,
Oh, that's not even it, dog.
And I'm chilling.
Ain't no way. Frank, you took this one off. I was like, hoping I could have saw you down in the land down under. But how was your weekend, though? It still got some Lorcana in? Were you able to get out there and play?
Yeah, the flights to Australia was a bit too much for me. But I got to play some tournaments locally here with the new set, so fun and good experience all around. Just a bit closer to home.
Right on. And finally, Mr. Lam. Again, huge kudos and congratulations to you for flying all the way to the land down under. This time, you got all the way to second place. So how are you feeling? I know you're a bit under the weather. How was your overall trip? Any first thoughts?
Yeah, no, the overall trip was great. Australia's a really nice place. And I'm pretty used to the long flights by now, so that's never a deterrent for me. So I was just excited to, this time I got an extra day, or I landed there on Wednesday instead of Thursday, so I got to finally do some sightseeing, which is usually not on the calendar for these kinds of trips for me. So it's pretty exciting.
Oh, that was cool. I did get a chance to see some things myself. I was there as well. As you guys know, I had the opportunity, the very fortunate pleasure and honor of doing the broadcast down there for the event. I'm just glad that it was streamed and I was able to kind of kick it with you guys a little bit and hang out. And it was a really, really magical experience. But now we're going to open up the floor a little bit and just kind of talk about the metagame, get into the nuts and bolts of why the people are here and what they want to hear from you guys. Your opinions and estimations on the meta game that was there. Was it what you thought it would be looking at it? I know a lot of people projected that certain decks would perform better, certain decks would show up in higher numbers. Did this tournament, we'll start with you again, DKP, did this tournament reflect what you thought it was going to be before you went there?
Yeah. So my prediction was that one sec. Oh, sorry. So my prediction was that Blurple, Dogs, and Green Blue were the top decks, and I think out of all the decks, these three were the decks that stood out the most, as expected. We saw Dogs really dominating. Thiago and the group around Thiago were really dominant with the deck. Then we had, of course, also the dominant portion of Blurple, Jonathan Lam, Ben, me also in the top cut. And then we had also a bunch of green-blue running around. Now Ed with the Inkgeyser build. And also there were actually multiple people with the Inkgeyser build, so that was interesting. Since there were not really but any known list for us at 11, and suddenly there was a big rise of Inkgeyser decks. I faced two personally, so that was kind of, I would say, unexpected. But obviously, it's really good when you expect like a lot of Blurple, and the card is just like probably the best card against Blurple. And yeah, so that was my meta prediction, and I think Melbourne really presented it really well.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Ed? Same thing. Are you feeling? Because I personally, I thought that it would be. I thought that the meta would be like DKP said. I thought it would be a lot of Sapphire Amethyst, a lot of Blurple, a lot of Dogs, and a lot of Amethyst Steel. Maybe, maybe it was less Amethyst Steel than I would have originally anticipated. But is this more of an indicator of what you expected to see? And how did that prepare you for making this deck? You elected to bring the Ink Geyser strategy, and you were #1 in Swiss. Can you talk about that, your meta analysis, and then leading to play this this deck that a lot of people might not have you pegged for?
Yeah, I mean, I think like everyone else, we projected, like Blurple to be at least like 20-25%. And I think in this tournament it was even above that, right? So I think because of that reason, Amethyst Steel got kind of pushed out of the meta. I know you could still win with like a go under strategy with that, but I think a lot of people are still like scared to bring it. And if they were playing those decks, they would rather just play Blurple themselves. I think the dog players, I think in particular, like Thiago and Molstar, that contingent, that entire group brought the dogs. And I think one of the major reasons why the conversion was so high was because of that group specifically. I think they had like 6 or 7 players that literally all made it to top cut. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so they actually, yeah, they all made it. And I think that skewed the numbers, to be honest. Like if that entire group decided not to come, I would say that conversion would not be as crazy as it seems. In terms of green blue, honestly, I thought it would be a lot less popular. I think it was still like 8%, 9%, something like that. And I know a lot of people wrote it off because it's like there's so many new toys that you can play with, right? People want to play like blue yellow, and Blurple just got let it go. So I didn't expect that much people to play green blue. Maybe I thought it was gonna be honestly like under like 7% or something. But yes, a lot of people played Ink Geyser, which is actually kind of surprising. I didn't really think anyone was gonna do that, but to me it made sense just because if a lot of people were playing Blurple, that was like one of the better cards to combat that. I think maybe it's like someone wrote a guide or something, and like I heard some people were like, oh, I saw in the guide you should play Ink Geyser, and then that's why they decided to play it. I think Pandemonium eventually like released it afterwards. Maybe some other people asked him beforehand, and I know he was a big proponent of it, and that's probably why we end up seeing that card.
Okay, now since we're talking about this, and I'm super interested on this fact. Before we go on, can you just talk about why that might be the case? Is it because there's so much Sapphire in the metagame? It's just a powerful card. It seems like it's a terrible unplayable card versus Dogs and some of the other lower to the ground decks. Maybe Amethyst Steel. It seems like it's terrible there. Why do you think a card like Ink Geyser had so much of impact, and how did it perform for you?
Yeah, I guess I'll talk about the deck a little bit then. So basically, the night before, I was talking to Jonathan Lam, and we were thinking about how to beat Blurple on the draw, and that's probably the main reason why you don't play the deck. Like on the play, it's like extremely favored, but on the draw, it's extremely hard to win. So eventually, we thought that it would be like Tamatoa, Heads Held High Under the Sea deck, or it's like you ramp up, you play Tamatoa, and then use it to sing Heads Held High Under the Sea. And then like 5:30 in the morning, like Thiago woke up. I was like, hey, where'd you end up, right? And I told him, and then like basically lectured me for 2 hours straight that was a bad idea, and eventually I changed the deck back to like my normal deck. And then eventually it was supposed to be actually 2 Under the Sea, 2 Hades in order to try to fight Dumbo. But I remember I saw Autumn Perchet's list from Hong Kong, and I saw they were also on 2 Under the Sea, 2 Ink Geyser, and that was when Blurple was also extremely popular. And I think that was one of the main reasons why they performed well. Personally, I've never played Ink Geyser, but basically in my head, it was like, once you get a head on board, because if you're on parity, it's not great, right? Because, eventually they get to take their turn first afterwards, and then you're kind of behind. But if you're head on board, you basically lock up the game. So in my head, I was like, okay, after I get to do a Prince Philip combo or Sing Under the Sea, I can play this Ink Geyser and win the game. The other spot where it's pretty good is if you're like extremely behind and there's actually like no shot at coming back into the game. The other line you can take is like you can go Prince Philip and Ink Geyser, and then try to ink your way up back to the Prince Philip combo before they get to Demona you. So I think the main solution or main problem we're trying to solve when you're going against Blurple is that you can't play the small Prince Philip before you get wiped by Demona, right? But if you're
Right.
able to Ink Geyser first, then you're going to be able to develop your Prince Philip combo before they get to Demona. So I think that was kind of the theory behind it. And there, I just follow that kind of concept, and the card performed really well. Like a lot of the games I won, you actually had to play even 2 Ink Geysers to be able to stop your opponent from like going back up again and really locking up the board. So I think that card is pretty strong right now.
Right on, man. I never would have guessed. I never would have guessed that Ink Geyser would be the card that that Ed is taking to this event. But looking at the rest of the tournament, I mean, it seemed like it was pretty standard for the most part. I didn't see too many crazy decks popping up or doing anything crafty. And again, huge kudos and congratulations to all of you gentlemen for making day 2. You had high placements all the way throughout. Really representing the organization well, representing yourselves well. DKP, you were on the verge of trying to go back to back and get another win out there in DLC Australia. As I pull your deck list up, can you just talk about Blurple again? What made you stick with it? Why is Blurple so good? And do you think that Blurple needs to make a change in order to continue to adapt with what this metagame is?
Yeah, so Blurple, in my opinion, was already like the best or the second best deck in the last format. And now it got a new tool in Lego, which is yeah, pretty strong song. It doesn't look that strong because like people said, oh, pre-rotation we also had Lego. We didn't even play 4. We played Into the Unknown for sure, and then not that many Legos. But the thing is, this is post-rotation, and the decks are generally a little bit weaker, mainly because we don't have a really good board wipe besides Amber one. And yeah, so what it did to Blurple was just that now you suddenly have 4 more cards in your deck that create a huge tempo swing, while you have cards like 5-cost Hades and Demona, which just provides you with like insane yeah, not only draws, but also again more tempo, because Demona can exert the entire board. Hades is always forcing your opponent to do a bad choice, either the removal or the draw. And most of the time, actually, even they have to give you the draw. So now with like the density of the songs in your deck, you can just draw into a song and remove something. So you still remove something, but you get an extra card, basically, right? And then the Hades itself is a great singer. And yeah, the Lego changed a lot, in my opinion. And now the deck is like really strong in the removal gameplay. Quite often you back to back you remove 2 characters turn by turn, and that's really strong. When your opponent just cannot make a huge comeback swing, like besides like Raging Storm or like the Prince Philip combo. And yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm playing it still. Then we also got another tool in Tigger, which I really enjoyed because when it got revealed, I was like, wow, like this is such a Blubber card, because Blubber can ram, Blubber can get an extra ink. That means 4 cost is suddenly like a 3 cost, a turn 3 play. And we didn't had a good turn 3 tempo swing before. We always played like Cat, Genie, Dumbo, Thiago, like something like that kind of gave us board presence, but didn't impact the board immediately, right? So having something that's also inkable, that's important, that impacts the board immediately by bouncing back a 2 cost, which is huge when you're on the play, by the way. You could just imagine like your opponent's board is a 1-drop, then goes into a 2-drop, now your turn 3 starts, Tigger it back, now they have a 1-drop on board against your maybe 1-drop Tigger into an Elsa, into the like complete blowout, which I also did against Purple Steel. MFS Steel. Just like an insane blowout. Like many decks cannot come back from that. And yeah, on the draw again, it is also like a huge tempo swing tool. Like when you're always behind on the draw, right? Like that's the nature of TCG. And then Tigger is just giving you a little bit of tempo back by bouncing quite often actually an uninkable 2-drop, which makes them then your opponent like having that 2-drop until like turn 5 or so, because they also want to continue their curve. So they have it stuck in their hand for a while. So it's basically like removed for a while. So that's kind of cool. And like these 2 main additions made me like, oh, insanely strong. Like we got a really strong early game tool, and then we got like really strong mid and late game tool and let it go, and that helps us like to just keep removing everything, keep the control of the board while also exerting a lot of like tempo and lower pressure also, and because of these kind of tempo swings, you can just start questing with everything, like with your TPO one drops. Even if your opponent can value trade sometimes, like you don't really care because you just slam back with your Demonas and so on. So yeah, that's why I really like Blurple right now. Of course, there's some weaknesses. For example, against like the Ink Geyser, there's not much you can do besides like out aggro them, which also happened between Jonathan Lam and Ed. So that kind of definitely works. And dogs, of course, but for that you can also take something like Wasabi, and then I think Blurple is just a really solid all-rounder deck.
And I noticed a lot of people were taking the card Sven Leaping Reindeer. That card, every time I saw it pop up on stream, it was doing a great deal of work for the same reason you said about Tigger, just taking down Genie, taking down Elsa, and living to tell the tale. Is that a card that you've tried, and what do you think about it? It is uninkable, but I mean the card team is pretty good. What do you think about that card?
Yeah, so my issue with that card is just, as you said, it's uninkable. That means when you try to curve out in Demona, which is like your main way to get the tempo back or like swing the board, you need every inkable card you need, because sometimes you are going a little bit greedier, meaning the only card you keep at 5 ink is Demona. That means if you draw an uninkable, you cannot play out the Demona next turn. So that means that happens a few times, and I try to go as low as possible with the uninks so I can always ensure to get to the Demona. I mean, at least as consistent as possible. And then the other thing about Sven is just he is really good in the mirror match because you can just one-shot the Elsa and Genie. You can banish them quite easily, and then he sticks around. But on the one hand, he really gets banished easily by a cat. Just needs 1 damage somewhere. And then also, he is not great into dogs. Like, he's a turn 3 play that also swings the board, right? But usually dogs don't really exert their characters. Like, they try to set up either Chromicon. If they have Chromicon, they shouldn't quest and play into a potential Sven, because nobody knows if you play Sven or not, right? You can always take it as a one-off to minimize the unink risk. And then they are not questing it. They slam on Chromicon, turn everything sideways, for example, and now your Sven doesn't do anything. Like, you are literally losing tempo every single time. And that's why I just don't like him. Especially if they are trying to set up with like the new card, the tree. I forgot the name right now. A Tigger can also like completely blow them out, or at least slow them down for a turn where you can just gain the advantage. Like, for example, if you're on the play and they turn 2 tree, play a 1-drop, so now the board is 1-drop, tree, 1-drop, and now you can Tigger the 2-drop back, the tree, and the next turn you can go Elsa, hit the tree again. Like, you're literally stopping them from going tramp, and then you go Demona and then wipe the rest of the board if they don't have Chromicon. If they have Chromicon, you have to. If you have Wasabi, you win on the spot probably. But yeah, you have to plan around that a little bit, and that made me not want to play Sven, because it just doesn't stop their main game plan of like try just to set up the board, set up the combo, and try to find the Chromicon. And it's uninkable. If it's inkable, of course, we would consider playing it, but just because of the uninkableness and the niche use case, I don't think it's really that good.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I like the explanation, and I like what you had to say about it. But you're not the only one on the squad that took Sapphire Amethyst to this event. Jonathan Lam, you're in the building as well. You also took Sapphire Amethyst to this tournament, and you got all the way to 2nd place. Looking at your guys' deck list, your deck is slightly different. You're not playing that very powerful Sven card that DKP has been so high on. You were maxed out on the Cheshire Cat and also the Dumbo. You're back up to 4 copies of each of those, and you're having the one of Hypnotic Strength. Can you just talk about your deck list and why did you play it this way? Why are you on Blurple anyway, Lamb?
Yeah, so I was pretty much just copying DKP. I think that's the strat going forward, just copy DKP. And this is the list that we were working on like 2 days before the tournament. And I had pretty much not changed it since then, but then DKP did some testing on his own and added the tickers back in. So this is pretty much what me and DKP landed on. And I think that the result of this is because we were jamming a lot of mirror matches, and those mirror matches, we kind of felt like there's like three main cards that you really, really need is the Hades 4 cost, the Hades 5 cost. You want that at 4, the Iago, and the Hypnotic Strength. So it's because the stock list right now is running 4 Iagos. We wanted to make sure we had enough answers for those or enough ways to match those cards. And then also the Hades is just really important as a way of to like keep having gas, or it's just a removal. So in the mirror, it's really good because they have a lot of high value targets that they want to keep on their board. So it's either a draw 2 or you get a kill something that's really good. I kept the 4 cat instead of going down to 3 because of there are 2 reasons. So one is he's good in the mirror, right? And he's also good against dogs. He's not as good against dogs as Tigger is, but he has some use cases in the mirror. I guess DKP's angle of getting around that is by playing the Ink Runner, so he can bounce his Ink Runner, and Tigger can at least do something on the board. Whereas if you don't have the Ink Runner, then Tigger is pretty much just a vanilla 4/3 that's doing nothing. So we had like he had a little bit more tech towards dogs, and I would have kind of appreciated that if you saw the finals.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that was the right way to go. And I think that after this weekend, I would probably change a few cards. Like I think that the Iagos and the Hypnotic Strength were actually not that helpful, and something like Wasabi would have definitely helped a lot more. So just like now that the mirror is very swingy with tons of songs, like Iago being a low tempo play that doesn't do anything as soon as you play him doesn't really matter that much sometimes, because it's kind of whoever plays Demona and draws 3 or plays a book and draws 2 and then draws some songs and then is able to wipe the opponent's board first. That's kind of what happens. That person will happen to win more often than not. And the low tempo card in Iago, specifically aside from playing him on turn 3 on the draw, or sometimes on the play, it's not very powerful. So I'm probably going to start leaning away from having high counts of Iago, or even maybe taking out the Hypnotic Strength. But yeah, we'll see how the meta shapes out.
Right on, man. Get good. It performed well enough for you to get all the way to your third golden Mickey, but like you said, in the finals, you kind of got taken down there by the dog strategy, and it was hard to watch there, man. I was hoping you could pull something together and have something turn around for you, but it was very one sided, and it all leaned onto that Emerald Chromacon. So can you just talk about the text? Is it time? I'm gonna ask the whole field. Sorry, Frank, I got you here, but we're just kind of going over their decks. They were at that tournament, and we'll kind of kick to you. Is it time, Frank? I'm asking you, since you were there, you're kind of outside looking in. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Is it time to start loading anti-item cards? Because we saw how powerful the Emerald Chromacon was this weekend. It was devastating every time it hit the board. And also there was a card called Snow Fort. It was on the board and it was doing some miraculous things for a lot of people. And I think that card has a very high potential to becoming a part of this metagame. And also Lantern is still going to be there. A lot of people like to get loose with the Junior Woodchuck guidebooks, just leave those items around. There are items that are returning back to Lorcana. Is it time, Frank, do you think, to start including item removal in your strategy?
Depends on your deck. I believe in Blurple it will probably be worth it if you expect dogs with Emerald Chromacon to become an even bigger part of the metagame. As Lam also said, it would have certainly helped him in the matches this past weekend. On the other hand, in like other decks like Purple Steel, I don't see a need for cards like Benja or Pluto. If you have built your deck and your strategy to just beat an Emerald Chromacon by either racing it or having enough like cheap proper challengers in your deck to set up situations where you can actually just beat an Emerald Chromacon the hard way. But that is nearly impossible to do with Blurple, which is just like a different deck that doesn't quest as quickly and doesn't challenge as adequately. I wouldn't be too scared of the other items you mentioned. There is also a chance that dogs players in anticipation of like an increase in item hate, start cutting the Emerald Chromicons from their deck and maybe moving to like a different list, more heavily based around Under the Sea. But we'll see how that shapes up. But yeah, if I were playing, let's say, a Blurple deck this coming weekend, I would surely put in a couple Wasabis. That makes sense to me.
I think I would too. What about you? What about you, Ed? What about you, Ed? What about you, DKP? Are you guys on item hate? I mean, Ed, you're playing Clarabelle, so you should be fine. But DKP, are you Wasabi gang or not?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I played it before. So I played before, and I thought that it might be okay without it this time. Mainly also because I focused more on the mirror. So my tech choices were like dogs and mirror. And then I had to decide, like, do I want to go high on dogs or on the mirror? And I decided to go a little bit more leaning more into the mirror side. That's why I didn't run it this time, but I will probably run it back. Like in Hong Kong and Richmond, I played Wasabi. I think in Richmond, I even played 2. Fun fact, I faced 1 dog, and it was Under the Sea dog. So I didn't end up using him. So that was like kind of, but I faced Yellow Purple, which still played Lantern. So that is interesting. But yeah, I also don't think Snowford is a huge problem. But the thing is, like, so if they actually play Snowford, and at some point they might like steamroll you with that card, then having Wasabi literally just does like completely destroy them, because now suddenly their only way to get an advantage over you for like having like really, really good trades into Blurple is suddenly gone. And then they just can't do anything, because you have like infinite songs and removal in Hades. Like anytime anything threatening comes down, you just instantly remove it.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it kind of easier. And also, I guess, against Amethyst, Amber Sapphire, with the Cauldron, I think you don't really need to out the Cauldron, because usually what you do is you use Into the Unknown, Let It Go, and Hades to remove every single good character. So the only thing they can revive is a Cindy or like a Moana, because that's the only thing that you don't really hit. And that's fine. Like, it's slow draw or like no draw at all, like the Moana, because at that point they're already at like, I don't know, 15 ink or something, and that ink doesn't really matter. Yeah, else it's nice to have, like, because then you're 100% winning the grind game if you just hit it. So that's kind of interesting.
Okay. And definitely putting Wasabi in his deck, right? Ed? You playing Wasabi, or what are you playing? Clarabelle?
So I think the thing about that is, like, it depends on what axes you want to attack the deck. Like, if you're trying to challenge the dog deck, okay, like, sure, you can play Wasabi. But my goal is actually not to interact with it at all, right? I want to Under the Sea, Prince Philip, board wipe them, and then just straight up win the game from there. I don't want to challenge anything. That's not ideal, right?
Yeah.
So if you're playing like Blurple, yeah, of course, like, those are some options. If you're playing mid-range strategies, obviously item destruction is going to be number 1 on like the list of cards you need to play now, probably. If you're playing against like a lot of Emerald Chromicron. So if you're a control strategy, yeah, you probably don't need to play that card.
Okay. Right on, man. Right on. Okay. You also, like I said, are you playing blue green there, or is that going to be your deck for the remainder of this set? Or are you looking at some other things that you're going to try? Ed?
I mean, right now, obviously everyone's eyes are on dogs, right? Like, dogs just won the tournament. It was extremely dominating, and like, going forward, that's probably going to be the most popular deck. And I don't think blue green in particular is like that strong against it, to be honest. Like, my loss was to dogs, and basically every turn they just stripped away my like Under the Sea or MMS, and I just had a bunch of characters that were big, but they didn't really do anything, right? And like, my dog opponent just went really, really wide, and then there was nothing I could do about it. So honestly, I don't think blue green is really that good right now. It doesn't beat Blurple on the draw, and yeah. So I mean, obviously, I'm always exploring like new cards, and right now that's kind of just where I ended up for this tournament, but it could change going forward.
Okay. Right on. So speaking of dogs, I kind of want to pull up a few dogs lists right now. The first list I'm going to show is going to be the list of the winner of the event. Huge shout out to Dylan. Dylan came through all the way from Southern California. Mole Star is his playing handle, and he played this Emerald and Amber dog strategy. Is there anything you guys want to talk about this deck, and then what makes it so powerful? Granted, we did get a supercharge with this Grandmother Willow. You got this Nani in there, and I think those 2 cards in particular just really push this deck to another level of consistency and just power power. I mean, it can do some things that are just absolutely obnoxious to see. Oh, and then when you couple it with the Emerald Chromacon and the Under the Sea, the Delamoon's Lullaby, the deck just seems like it's firing on all cylinders. Can you guys just tell me about this deck? We'll start with you, Frank, and then anybody has any thoughts about this dog strategy, and what do we need to do to take this deck down? Like, I want this deck out of here.
Hold on. Thiago just joined, so maybe you can put him up in the video. And
Yo.
he made the deck, so you can ask him.
Yo, where Thiago's? I thought Thiago was anti-podcast. Where you at, Thiago? Are you in here? Can I hear you? Say something.
Hello, hello, hello. Test 1, 2, 3. Hi, hi.
Yo.
Yo.
Thiago is in the building.
I'm
I
here.
thought you were anti-podcast, man.
I'm here, man.
I appreciate you being here, Thiago. Thank you for joining, by the way. I love hearing your voice.
Yeah, of course.
I love hearing what you got to say.
Just got home right now, so had to run and make it happen. But we're here.
Right on, man. I'm glad you're here. Okay, it really means a lot to me. And I know you played dogs this weekend, and I think I might have your deck in here as well. But can you just talk about?
Same thing.
All right, can you talk about? We're just into the dog segment of the show, and I just want to know about this deck. I personally I don't like it. I can't stand the deck. Okay, it seemed like it's doing too much, and it's very annoying when I play against it. I need it out of here. Okay, tell me about the deck and what do we got to do to get this deck all the way up out of here?
Yeah, so this is a deck that was pretty powerful in the last couple sets. It was typically overperforming quite well in some of the DLCs. Like it was putting up some pretty crazy conversion rates, even though it was a very small percentage of the meta share. But in this set, with the addition of Grandmother Willow and Nani, it took the deck to a whole nother level. I think that a lot of the ways that the deck's attacked it before are really covered up by the Grandmother Willow. Like I think a lot of the mid-range strategies that tried to go a little bit over it really struggled to deal with the ink cheating that the Grandmother Willow provides you. And it pairs extremely well with the Emerald Chromacon because the Emerald Chromacon is a card that gives you a big tempo disadvantage in the short term to kind of force your opponents to fall behind when they're trying to interact with your board. But sometimes that disadvantage leads the game to a board state where they're able to just race you because you did nothing on your third turn, right? When you pair this with the Grandmother Willow, it kind of eliminates that downside from the game, and you're always ahead on board and always forcing them to interact with you, in which case you're forcing them to get their stuff bounced, and the game snowballs really, really heavily. So I think the Nani and the Grandmother Willow both play really well with the Chromacon. The Nani just gives you like 2 bodies to activate your Chromacon twice and make sure that you're always spending all your ink after you've established the Chromacon. So I think the deck was like by far the best deck in the game going into this weekend. I was really, really dominating in like any form of practice, like testing with my teammates, testing online, testing whatever. Is like I've really never seen like a deck put up the win rates that this deck was putting up in practice before a tournament. And so I was like very, very confident. It was just like by far the best deck in the game. I think it's not going to be by far the best deck for the entire set because there are ways to attack it. It's just that there's a lot of tension, as DKP was saying, like between Blurple and Dogs, both the decks attack you in completely different angles. So the harder that you tech into one, the worse you become into the other. And Blurple is more than twice as represented as Dogs was in the DLC. So it made a lot of sense to tech your deck heavily towards Blurple. But moving forward, I think we are going to see people try to attack this strategy. There's a lot of different ways to build the strategy. Dylan's a friend of mine. I went to hang out with him a couple days before the tournament, and he didn't even have Chromacon sleeved up. He was playing the Under the Sea version. And then I tried to nudge him as much as I could towards the Chromacon version just because, I really thought it was much better. And then he did end up swapping and, obviously paid dividends for him. But I think the angle that the Chromacon gives you is like going to be harder to kind of realize all the value because, the 2 worst matchups for the deck are number 1 is the mirror and number 2 is decks with item hate. And those are like going to be the 2 biggest winners of this weekend, right? Like the 2 things that are going to increase the most now are more mirror matches and more decks with item hate. So I think the deck's going to be a lot worse position moving forward.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm on that same line of thought. Like with DLC in Ghent coming up in 2 weeks, we have the Ink Open coming up next weekend, which is going to give you a little bit more information about where this thing can go and what text to make. All of you guys should be going to DLC and Ghent, and I will be watching closely from afar. I cannot go to Ghent. Some things happen in my own life, so I can't be there. But do you think going into Ghent, you're definitely not going to take this deck, right? Or would there be more information that needs to come forth before you can make that determination?
I would definitely not rule it out. No, I think the people who have put a lot of work into this deck and are playing it at high level can definitely still get really, really spectacular results.
Okay. You heard it here. Thiago running it back in DLC and Ghent right here live. You guys got that real-time feedback. If you guys want to show up to DLC Ghent and cook Thiago, play something else. What is the bad matchup for this deck then? A lot of people saw it was Ruby Amethyst. Is that true? You said Ruby Amethyst is your freest matchup. I thought it was your worst matchup. What's the bad matchup? Who do you not want to see?
I don't think it's a bad matchup. I think the way the Grandmother Willow interacts against them, if you ever draw Chromacon, it's impossible for them to win. I just drew 1 7-cost Tramp, 1 5-cost Lady, and 0 Chromacons across 3 games, and so it's like you just lose that. But then he was in the same bracket as Dylan, so I just like talk with Dylan. We open the deck list after the game, and he completely smokes him instantly. Like the next game, like I really don't think it's a bad matchup. I think the worst matchup is decks with green-yellow decks with 4 Under the Sea, then the normal mirror, and then item hate. It's like you're really, really favored against literally everything else.
Yo, DKP's got something. DKP, what do you think?
No, I just want to say here, item hate.
Item hate. Okay. There's certainly every deck. It seems like every deck in this game has a natural predator, like a counter. You can't tell me that this deck is just uncounterable. Like there has to. I mean, granted, the mirror match doesn't really count because that's like the deck itself beating itself, and like a one of timely Benja, like that can't be the only thing that's strong against this deck. Certainly, right? Amethyst Steel, nothing. Ruby Amethyst, nothing. Blurple, nothing. That's crazy. I don't know. I'm not buying it.
Blurple, easy.
And I did come to that conclusion of my own, just watching this deck perform over the weekend. There were times where someone would have like the Grandmother Willow established, the Lilo in the discard pile, and the Emerald Chromacon established, and they just kind of keep looping those forever, and it seemed like the opponent just couldn't do anything. They could not win the game. It was over right there. And I felt so bad watching that. And I was like, how is this deck not the best deck? So I agree with you, Thiago. Maybe it's just the best deck in the format, and people got to start preparing for that reality.
Yeah, I think there was, across all the tournaments, 2 of my friends brought it to Axion. One of them finished day 1 in first place. The other one won the side event. Then in this tournament, 3 of us brought it. All 3 of us made top cut. I was like first in Swiss throughout all the days, and then just a pair down made somebody pass me, so I finished second in Swiss. And then the winner brought the deck, and then the other 2 of us both made top cut. And then in Rob, our teammate, also brought it to a 70-some person tournament, and he won. So it's like literally every single tournament throughout the weekend where someone who was like playing the list was participating in, like they literally just won the tournament, or like were first place throughout the entire tournament, or they all made top cut. Like it was just like I'd never seen anything like it. It's actually so beyond broken.
That's insane, man. That's insane. I don't know. You guys are breaking my heart, man. You guys are breaking my heart. We can't be living in. I pull up Rob's deck here on the screen. It looks very similar to the one that you've shown. I think that's just you got Yzma's in there, and I think everything else.
2 cards different. Yep, 58 cards the same.
Yeah.
All the cards are basically 58 cards the same, just because there's some like slight preferences that people chose for whatever kind of consistency they wanted. So some played Yzma, some played Clarabelle, some played like a 4th Webby and a 3rd Della, just like pretty. But they're all essentially the same. They all came from the same place. So.
Right on. And Lam is still here. Lam was in the finals. I can't see you guys' faces, so it's kind of hard to see your reaction. I mean, is this deck giving you kind of any type of trauma seeing this deck back on the screen before you? If you could do it different, what would you do playing that Blurple deck to make this a little bit easier for you?
So yeah, there's some interesting feedbacks that I got that I could have maybe min-maxed my play a little bit better. I think that there's one specific turn that I think I never even thought of this situation, but I sang Into the Unknown onto one of their characters, giving them the ink and removing character. But that doesn't actually make their tramp any more expensive than it is, because instead of them getting the discount on the board. They just get a discount from the inkwell, right? So
Mm.
I hadn't really considered that, but I think that is something to keep in mind whenever you're playing against dogs now. Is whenever you use like an inking song, then it actually doesn't technically remove or stop them from playing Tramp 7, and so that was something interesting. And then another thing was just yeah, just I think the deck building process is definitely important. I didn't really like me and DKP were talking about it, and we were saying like, okay, well, we can beat like 95% of dogs players without item hate, but like it's just like that like top echelon of dogs players like Thiago and Dylan that there's almost like no chance if we don't like respect that, you know. And so I think that going forward is like with deck building, I'll probably like be more careful about just like those really power picks, even if there are only a handful of few people that can play at a high level. Like if you expect yourself to get far into the tournament, you're going to run into those people, right? So I think that it's definitely worth it to respect that and maybe run like 1 or 2 wasabis. And I think that those two things, just like being a little bit more careful with my plays, and then also just respecting the best players and their best decks. Like even though like there's probably like maybe like less than 10 dogs players that are really really scary, like yeah, you got to respect them, even if it's a very very low chance of running into them in Swiss. So yeah, I think that those two things, Blurple will probably be fine against dogs. And there's not really much to worry about. Like now, if they know that you're running wasabis, it's really, really hard for them to just drop a Chromicon and just like turn sideways, right? Now they have to be way more calculated when they do it, and maybe they like peek at your hand with the Mowgli first before they do it or something like that. So yeah, but wasabi is definitely a big problem for them.
Okay. A definite consideration. I'll be interested to see, man. Like I said, I think the meta is still very young. There's still a lot of things that can be developed as time goes by. Ghent is going to be, I think, that big backstop where everyone is kind of leaning forward. Maybe someone has some spicy deck that they're kind of hanging on to. Maybe not. Maybe people are afraid to kind of get out of that comfort zone and stick around to what has been working. But we have Frank. Frank has submitted a few decks. We're going to bring those up and talk about those as a group and kind of see what you guys think about it. Frank has been testing a little bit this weekend. Maybe he's leaking some of his sauce, some of the decks that he might be considering taking to the Disney Lorcana Challenge in Ghent to go back 3 for 3. 3-time DLC champion here is going to be playing this Amber Steel Aggro. Yo, Frank, tell me about this deck, and then you guys can criticize this deck and tell me why you might think it's good or bad. Let's get some dialogue here. We'll start with Frank first.
Well, I just wanted to try out some things over the weekend. I entered like the same tournament that Rob de Haan won on Saturday. Brought a different Ember deck where I also liked the Willow and Nani, except I put it in an Ember Steel aggro deck because Nani is excellent to find dog, great singer for Strength of a Raging Fire. And I liked this version, which had both an aggressive plan on the play, as well as a more controlling plan on the draw, also using cards like the new Forecast Angel and Rhino to potentially keep dogs at bay. It's played fine. I went 5-2, but ultimately it felt slightly worse than dogs if you wanted to really leverage the Willow and Nani. So yeah, it was a useful day of playing games and getting some experience. I think this deck is actually viable if you like Ember Steel aggro. Can be competitive, but I don't think I will be playing this at the DLC.
He's throwing you guys off the scent. Don't believe him, okay? He's throwing you guys off the scent, okay? He's trying to keep you guys off of your toes, okay? He's definitely playing this deck, and it's definitely goated with the sauce. I like it. I mean, I appreciate you getting out there and trying new things and like at least trying to push the metagame forward. Playing an Amber and Steel, more of an aggro to mid-range almost deck. It looks cool. What do you gentlemen think about it? We'll start with you, Ed, and then DKP, and then Thiago and Lam. If you guys want to add some thoughts to this deck, just to hear some ideas. I mean, How can we make it better?
Well,
Yeah.
could be quick, but yeah.
Yeah, quick.
Quick. Well, I mean, the thing about like this kind of stuff is like when you look at decks and what strategy you're going for, this is an aggro strategy, right? So obviously, like what people consider the premier aggro strategy is dogs, right? And I think the reason why dogs is good is because it has two game plans depending on the matchup. You can be aggro or control. So like, let's say you're playing Amber Steel and you go against dogs. You basically instantly lose the game, right? Because they have like the under the sea. Like if you're comparing like, oh, it's not true. Okay, I'm down to listen to the counter
No,
argument.
like in my testing, it was just 50-50. You can time a Mowgli to take their Ember the Sea under the sea, and yeah, you actually take sort of a control role in the matchup, where I think as I mentioned, like the Rhino and Angel do help, especially if you play them on turn 3 via Willow, for
Um,
example.
mhm. I think my main issue with that
But
is
it was 50-50 in my testing, so.
oh, I see. Okay, I guess for me, when I like play like these type of matchups, usually Mowgli literally never hits anything because what usually happens is like they set up Singer 8, right, and then you play Tramp to dig for that under the sea, and then that's when you straight up cast it and lose the game. So I think if most people are playing that way, I feel like it's like less than 50-50 because it's actually extremely consistent to be able to find like that under the sea combo versus like if you're playing like strength in Amber Steel, you can't just like set it up, right? Like you have to like play like basically off the top of your deck, or if someone steals it with Mowgli or Ursula, then you're kind of in trouble. So I think if they do it that way, I think it's like kind of unfavored for the Amber Steel deck. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Yeah.
I'll say like
you
this.
You
This
do
is
have to
very
like mulligan away Daisy and Tiana and stuff like that to mitigate the impact. But you're completely right about the proper timing of the tramp. It's probably similar in the dog's mirrors, where you don't really want to play a tramp and then hold an under the sea and hope you can play it on the next turn, but rather ideally set up Singer 8 first and then like insulate yourself from that. But yeah, at the same time, this sort of deck also need not give you enough time to like have that luxury.
Yeah, this deck is this Amber Steel deck's pretty similar to what I played in Hong Kong, with like 2 Horseman Strikes, I know Fire the Cannons, and a bunch of these aggressive tools. And in the lead up to Hong Kong, the deck that I practiced against the most was dogs, and I was having extremely favorable results. And so I definitely don't think that the matchup is like super unbalanced for dogs. I think the new cards probably help dogs in like a slightly disproportionate way, but like yeah, I was just destroying dogs like super hard with Amber Steel before. I sent you a thing, JDC. I don't know if you can pull it up, but this is like this was like a meme that we had from last set, but it's a little bit timely after Dylan won the DLC today, but basically everyone kept saying, every time anyone would talk about Amber Steel that I brought it, like they'd always, the first thing they would say is that it's bad into green yellow, and then oh, we lost him. I just broke the broadcast for fun. So then
Broadcast? No,
so
we're
then
here.
Dylan, to defend me, sent this for the boys. So uh this was like me parrying into him. The Amber Steel was like completely dominating the green yellow. So
Wait, was this
like
last set?
yeah. But the decks were like
Yeah.
extremely similar. Like I wasn't playing Fire the Cannons or anything like that. And
I think
so
it's not.
so
Well,
like
I feel like now it's different though, because like now you have the Willow that sets you up like a way more accelerated, like Singer 8 versus before. Dude, getting Singer 8 was like kind of hard unless you're playing like Ursula, Vanessa, or whatever, right? So I
yeah,
feel
but
like the
I think
dynamic has changed a lot.
I think it just brings it closer to 50. I don't think it goes from like the matchup being like you're winning like 20% of the games to like now you're winning like 80% of the games. It's like you're probably like a 36% matchup or whatever, and now you're like a 51% matchup or like a 43% matchup to like a 50% matchup or something like that. Like is like the matchup was already like really not bad for Amber Steel.
So this is you beating up on dogs with the Amber Steel deck.
Yeah. There's
Nice.
Yeah, it was like me being like Amber Steel's actually good against dogs, and then people being like, no, 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 it's bad, and then Dylan being like, no, 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 like you actually just it's really brutal for dogs.
I mean, Angel seems like a great anti-dog type card. I mean, if you can get it down early enough, and then you just start pinging their stuff, all their characters have around that 2, maybe 3 willpower. I mean, that seems like a very
You
viable
can have
option
a
there.
target every single turn, yeah. If
Yeah,
you want a target every turn, you'll have a target every turn.
I think that seems like a very very good piece on that. But Frank has another one for us, so we're gonna pull that one up. I like this deck. I like the fact that Frank went out there and gave it a shot. If it is the best deck, great. If not, also great. I mean, we need more information, and we need more people getting out there and trying new things. I mean, it's too much. I like a nice, well-rounded metagame, and I don't like it when there's too many of the same things. All right, here's another one. So here's Frank back on Amethyst Steel. This is for sure the deck that Frank Karsten is going to take to the DLC. So he's going to run it back with Amethyst Steel again. You guys got it. You're locked in. You're in the Metafy. You should be able to see this. You can cut him off at the legs if you want, if you're going to Ghent. But Frank, tell me about this one. This one looks really cool. I like this deck a lot.
Certainly a front runner for DLC Ghent for me. Yeah, like I wasn't interested in playing Blurple because I don't like the play style. I knew that the others were just playing with dogs. Rob was playing that all weekend, and yeah, Purple Steel is still like a popular deck and one that I had some good experiences with at the previous DLC. So I tossed in like a bunch of new cards to try, from the Christopher Robin to Pocahontas, Gigi, a Tigger, some Angels, the new 3-cost Genie, and took it to like a 150 player tournament in Belgium, where like basically everyone was there to do some practice before Ghent, a decent field, and yeah, I went undefeated with this. Ultimately, split in the top 4, and yeah, it still felt strong. Like I mostly played against like Blurple and Purple Steel mirrors all day, but those were just the pairings. In my impression, Purple Steel is roughly even against Blurple, like well, roughly even in the mirror match, and yeah, it used to be, I think, slightly ahead against the typical dogs list that were played, at least in set 9. Because when I last played, I defeated a lot of dogs opponents. I do believe that if you build dogs differently, for example, with the 6-cost shift tramp and some other card choices, you can actually build dogs in a way that it's like favored against Purple Steel.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't really played much against the new builds of dogs, but also because Rob was playing, like running back his dogs deck on that Sunday, and then losing several times to Purple Steel. And also based on a couple of playtest games, I do have the impression that Purple Steel is still favored against dogs. And you don't need Benja or Pluto to take out Chromicon, because there are various ways to beat Chromicon. One is like simply exploiting that they spent 3 ink to do effectively nothing and just questing and racing them. And in this build with enough like heavy questers, that is like sometimes a realistic game plan. Alternatively, you can, like via proper mulliganing and inking, deploy lots of like early challengers. For example, ideally on turn 4, play something like a Black Heron and a Calhoun, so that you have like a full board of ways to answer what they're doing that is also insulated from under the sea. And yeah, via those lines, I used to be able to like contain the dogs strategy. I'll need some additional testing to see if that like still holds up in this set 11 metagame, because the dogs deck certainly got stronger. But if it does, then this will likely be a front runner for Ghent. Like everyone believes that Purple Steel is well, not favored against Blurple, but yeah, my experience has been different.
To that
As
point,
for
you actually have a question coming in from the chat from K2600. They said, "What is the strategy to beat Blurple with Purple Steel?" Because I'm one of those people. I believe that Blurple has a very good matchup into Amethyst Steel. I think if I'm playing Blurple and my opponent's playing Amethyst Steel, I'm feeling good about it, and I think I'm very confident. So from you and to everyone else in DKP, you can argue this as a Blurple player. I like to hear a little bit of back and forth from you guys, because that's where a lot of good discussion comes from. But Frank, from your perspective, how is Purple Steel beating Blurple?
So on the play, you can potentially go under them by questing heavily. Where some additions like the Pocahontas or like the 3-cost genie, not so much a 3-drop as more a late game card, can help to set it up. Curving 1, 2, 3, 4 strength is still a good approach. You don't necessarily immediately sing strength at the earliest opportunity. It can sometimes depend a bit on the situation, because you always need to make sure that you don't like run into what used to be Bell, now is Cheshire Cat. Don't give them value with that unnecessarily, and just go wide, like at some point, like through some judicious use of removal and curve outs, maybe an Elsa or something in between. You can get to a spot where you have like I don't know, 3 more characters than they have, and then get to like some like multiple turns of questing ahead. And yeah, the deck is also filled with a lot of card draw, obviously, so you can keep up the pressure. On the draw, it is way more difficult. Sometimes you can try to go over them through card draw, though that is difficult. I did feel like the Christopher Robin was helpful in some of the matches that I played, in at least setting up sort of a lore race. And sometimes you can win the evasive war with like some good use of your evasives and Cheshire Cat, in which case you can keep questing. All the additional ink that you get from Let It Go, Into the Unknown, and Hades can also actually benefit you if you keep enough like card draw effects in hand, so you can just keep going and adding characters to the board and keep questing. But yeah, ultimately, it's a matter of curving out. Strength of a Raging Fire is like a key element to gain tempo, and yeah, it used to be like don't give them value with Bell. Now make sure you play around the possibility of Cheshire Cat, and quest ahead.
Cobra out.
Okay.
Quest ahead and Cobra for victory. DKP, do you agree with that? Do you think it's more closer to 50-50, or are you loving seeing Purple Steel across the table from you?
I do think it's 50-50.
Like every time, so it used to, so that's like a big misconception, right? Like that people had. Like in set 9, I think Purple Steel was actually ahead. Like if the Purple Steel player was really good, I think Purple Steel was actually ahead than Blurple, because everybody said Blurple's was favored. And I think in set a little bit already, because we got the Demona, because in set 9 we're always in the game say where Purple Steels just stops questing and then they just go super wide, and then eventually they just win, because eventually they just draw their strength and or more dogs, and then you just lose, because you since you also cannot really exert your characters, because they might also have Bell and stuff, or you cannot even collect 10 characters and turn 10 characters sideways. you lost that. And with Demona, it got to like the small mini game where usually Purple played more Demonas than Purple Steel, and you could just attack them. And now I think at 11 it got like for me at least, I think it is heavily favored. I was super happy to see Purple Steel every single time when I faced them. Melbourne, I was like, yes, Purple Steel, and not Mirror or something, because Mirror, as Jonathan Lam said, is really swinging now, because Let It Goes, like, it's like you can be so ahead and then suddenly out of nowhere you lose your entire board. And now against Purple Steel, they have one song that is removal and we have 8 plus the Hades. So it's like, yes, they gain the ink, but they lose the board entirely. And the issue is, if you cannot push early enough, and that's how I usually lost against Purple Steel, even if I gain the control, they're already like 12 ink, 12 floor, top deck Dog, Genie plus something, and then just quest for 3, and I cannot keep removing it. But now, I think I have a super easy time to remove every single 2-lore buddy, like Genie, Demona, and even Yzma. Like, they can play 10 Yzmas. I don't think I care that much about her, because you have Elsa, Demona, Hades, Let It Go. Like, Let It Go put it like over the top. You have Hades to even draw you into that, like 8, 9 ink. Usually in the late game, you can like even go Hades. They let you draw on the Yzma, right? Then you activate Book, and then out of this 4 songs, you just draw 1 Let It Go, for example. 4 draws. Draw Let It Go, for example. That's like a huge swing now compared to before, because before they just let you draw because like they know, okay, now my Yzma is like completely safe. I draw 3, flood the board, and win. Now it's like, if you hit a Let It Go, it's like game over on the spot. And another thing is, if people play Tigger, which I did, and I had it every single game against Purple Steel, because in my Mulligan strat, I kind of keep it if it's not too risky and I have nothing else. So that was totally fine, especially in game 2 and 3. Of course, you just keep it. And that was like a huge blow. Like on the play, there was like 0 chance they could have won that, because I went like Tigger into Elsa. Sometimes I didn't have Demona, but still, like Tigger into Elsa, like there was no board. There was literally no board. And I just kept going like usual. And back and forth a little bit, Strength and Hades, and so on and so on. Nothing really happened, but they didn't have the board to quest out. So that was really easy game. On the draw, it's still like, if they have 1, 2, 3, 4 double strength, I don't think you can still beat that. But what helps you now is actually the Tigger, because how I keep losing to that hand is they just start questing out of their 1 and 2 drop. Can just use the Tigger to bounce something back. They can still strength your Tigger because it's only power, unfortunately. Slows them down significantly, because your 1-drop might hold off their 1-drop already. So that means now they have nothing to quest, really. Because before, for example, if they have like 1-drop plus Calhoun, you cannot really like they can just quest out with Captain Hook, and you cannot hit back with your Royal Guard, because then the Calhoun just completely obliterates you. And something like that, for example. And if they're on the play, like they can just do that, even though they might sacrifice their ability to strength the Genie, especially if they don't have strength, right? They can do that. They can just start questing and then like just give me the Calhoun value. Now, if you bounce back the Calhoun, that's huge, because they cannot replay that Calhoun for a long time if they want to curve out, right? And that's really good. And it always gave me like the tempo that I needed, because I just slow them down. If they don't have strength on my Tigger now, I just assume they don't have it, and then I can go like Iago on the next turn. Not even Elsa, like just straight up Iago, and then into Demona on turn 5, taking out 2 bodies. That's at least what I did, and I think it has now more lines where you can just comfortably say, oh, these are the winning lines against the Purple Steel, and not really like praying they don't have this or that. And I think that makes it better now. At least I'm happy every time I see Purple Steel. It's really straightforward. I only have to worry about the 1, 2, 3, 4 double strength, and about the rest I don't really care. And if they have that, they have that, and I just take it. But I still think it is like, you need to know your lines, definitely. And I think if you don't tech your deck like towards the Purple Steel, it can still take you down for sure. But I think that's why I like the Tigger so much. It takes out quite a lot of matchups, especially if you're on the play. Like it just ensures that you definitely win. And on the draw, it just gives you like the tempo back that you need. Yeah, that's why I like it. Even though it can be really bad in the mirror, yeah, I think it's pretty decent for that. For considering the whole meta, yeah.
Okay. So you think Purple Steel is a pretty decent matchup? It's probably, I mean, but still, like you said, it depends on the player skill level and how you draw at the end of the day. It's not as free as I initially thought it was. I thought it'd be a little bit more. I personally thought it'd be more towards purple, but still, you got to get out there and draw the cards and make the plays. I mean, still, I think it's a super solid deck. I'm glad that Frank brought it here, and I want to see more of this. Shout out to Lorcana. I think it's Miss Lorcana. I think she won CCQ in Leicester playing Amethyst Steel. Unfortunately, I don't have that deck in here. I probably can find it really quickly and pull it up, but it looks very similar to what Frank is playing. She had the Pocahontas in there. You had the
I
Christopher
sent
Robin's in
it to
there.
you.
Oh, you have it? You sent it? Okay, let me pull that into the stream really
Yeah,
quick. So,
it is loading in our DMs.
all right, let me see if I can do this without destroying the stream again. Because last time I did this, it absolutely took everything. It took everything from me to do this. All right, so I'm gonna pull this up. I think it should be good. Here we go. Okay, so I can pull this into the broadcast really quick so people can see this and compare this to the deck that Frank just submitted. But they look. Oh, never mind. They look very similar. She did play Benjis though, so that's one thing she had going for her. And she is now going to be going to the UK national event, or excuse me, the national tournament in Paris, and playing this deck. So I'm certainly she had to encounter some blurples there. I mean, she plays a very similar deck to what Frank was that Frank sent in. However, she's playing it with like more of standard ratios. You don't have those Frank Karsten one ofs in there that Ed loves so much. So I mean, I think the deck might be legit. I don't know. What do you guys think about this deck? What do you think about her performance? Do you guys get a chance to go back and read some of those reports?
So definitely like great performance by her. In terms of the deck, what stands out to me is the curve. There's only 3 reasonable 2-drops in 3 Pocahontas. You don't really want to be playing Christopher Robin or Doc on turn 2 if you can really help it. Whereas my list had like additional copies, in particular Black Heron was up to like 6 reasonable 2-drops. So I think that is like a massive double difference, which is why I prefer my list by a wide margin. But there are certainly some interesting aspects in this list. Also some that I tried out, like the Pocahontas with the new 3-cost genie. It does offer like an interesting plan against Blurple. It helped me in some of the games that I played over the weekend, and yeah, it's certainly a nice aspect to have access to. Also going deep on like full Yzma along with Angel, which is a nice combination. I still prefer to have more flexibility in my deck, so like a split between Pocahontas and Calhoun, like a split between, let's say, the 3-cost genie and like either Gigi or Lexington, so you can just like decide what you play, whether you're like on the play or draw, or like what your role is. Likewise, a split between like Yzma Angel versus Dumbo, because some are better in some games and some are worse in some games. And yeah, if I draw them all together, then I like to have the flexibility of inking one and then playing the other. But well, there are certainly many similar ideas in this list, and it's nice to see that Purple Steel is still a good option.
Yeah, it's a deck that everyone kind of likes this deck. Everyone is like you keep it in your back pocket and you pull it out and you can beat a lot of people with this deck because of its consistency. It might not be the over the top super most powerful thing to do, but it's very, very consistent, and I think that has to count for something for sure. Okay, Okay. So these are the decks that we had to see. But gentlemen, as we get to the end of the show a little bit, I kind of want to kind of pay off what we did last time. Frank, you were here and Rob was here, and you remember we pulled up the excuse me, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, the predictions of what was going to be in DLC in Ghent, or what was going to be in DLC in Melbourne, and we could kind of see who won that. We had 1 Blurple, 2 Purple Steel, 3 Dogs, 4 Green Blue. Were going to be the decks as they were most played. I think that was actually accurate. No, it was Blurple, PS, Dogs, and Green Blue. I think was the 4th most deck being played. I think both of you guys got that correct. And then Frank had in the top 8, you had 3 Blurple, 1 PS, 1 Dogs, 1 Amber Steel, 1 Green Blue, 1 Yellow Blue. Yellow Blue didn't do that. That's something I kind of want to talk to you guys about too. Before we start to wrap this up, what's going on with the Yellow Blue? Is that deck real? It seems fraudulent. Like it didn't do anything this weekend in any of the tournaments. We'll kick it to you, Ed. I know you're a Yellow Blue master. I'm kidding. What's going on with that deck, man? Is it fake? Is it a fraud? Is it a hoax? Like what's going on with it? Why didn't it do anything this weekend?
I mean, this weekend actually there was like that one guy from NTM that like did he win or got top 8 or something like that? It's like one of Ellie's teammates. He was playing like Detective Blue Yellow with the Higgins and the Fangmeyer. That tweet somewhere. But I think the main reason though is like if you compare what's like the closest thing to Blue Yellow, right? It's probably gonna be Blue Green, and I think Blue Green just has way more axes to like attack the meta. In terms of Blue Yellow, I think the main problem is like you have to wait all the way until Raging Storm, right, to basically do anything. I know a lot of people were playing like Spooky Sight for a little bit, but then the problem was like a lot of the decks nowadays actually can utilize the ink really well. So I think Spooky Sight basically got kicked out of the deck, and I think that might have been one of the main reasons why you would play Blue Yellow, because you can kind of play Spooky Sight and then curve it into a Raging Storm in like a couple turns. So because of that, I think that deck is not that popular. And like if you wanted to play a control strategy, you would rather just play Blue Green. So I think that's probably what happened.
That's what happened. I think it did, man. I was actually super sad about it because I was one of the Yellow Blue believers. I was like, Yellow Blue is going to be a deck that is going to be around and people are going to be playing it and it's going to have good performances, and it just absolutely didn't. So Frank had top 8. You had 3 Blurple, Purple Steel, 1 Dogs, 1 Amber Steel, 1 Green Blue, 1 Yellow Blue. So that one was actually almost kind of right, but you just replaced the Green Blue with Ruby Amethyst, and Yellow Blue with and Amber Steel was also not there. Rob had 2 Blurple, 1 Yellow Blue, 1 PS, 1 Dogs, 1 Green Blue, and 1 Yellow and Purple. Yellow Purple's another deck that I think severely underperformed this weekend all over the world. It didn't really convert too well. It didn't do too much. What's going on with that deck, DKP? Any signs of life for the Yerple deck?
Purple deck, you mean? Oh, you
Yellow,
mean
purple.
Amber?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for sure that the deck is still decent running. I think it can definitely perform well. I personally just don't seem to play it over Blurple. Besides the fact that you can run Raging Storm in that deck, so you can go like something with like libraries and Raging Storm. Doesn't make it great though, in my opinion. Like I don't know how you want to beat dogs. Or like even mainly
Yeah.
dogs. That's pretty much a really bad matchup. And even then the board wipe is quite far away. It can brick you up until on the way there. It's like I don't know. I just don't like that.
Yeah.
Playing a board wipe in this kind of style, especially like you can mimic like Ruby Amethyst kind of, right? Where you try to go the value game and then you go like libraries, move everything in before turn, try to keep the board small so your opponent cannot one-shot the library, and then you go Raging Storm, wipe the board. I guess that's like an edge or like a thing that you can try out for the deck, and else I don't really see a big reason why you should play it over Blurple. It's just like a really similar deck, but Blurple is just faster, strong, and has way more removal, like way more removal. Now with Let It Go on top, like before it was questionable, right? Which one is worth it more. But now it's like you have like infinite removal in Blurple compared to that, and you have the same draw engine, so you can even run library in Blurple if you want at some point. Like if, for example, the Raging Storm thingy gets to a problem, will be a problem, you can just run library. Like every purple that can run library at that point, and just hard counter the board wipe basically. Yeah. Until then, I don't really see a reason to play it.
Okay, and I think a lot of people might have agreed with you. I mean, maybe the Monstro combo can come back. I don't know if Willow helps that enough or what, but I haven't really seen anybody going back to the Monstro combo. With
Let it go.
Yeah, let it go. Coming
Yeah,
back. Never mind.
Monstro combo doesn't work anymore because like
Yeah.
Monstro literally never stick ever again. Like
Yeah.
quite literally 0%.
That's right.
So
Dang it.
yeah.
And there's no way to give him ward or anything in that deck either. So yeah, never mind. It's cooked. Forget it. Forget that's anything. It's fried. It's over. You're done, Monstro. We'll
It's
see you.
Jova.
It's over. It's done. It's absolutely over. It's done. Okay, so we do have a few more events. Like I said, CCQ is going to be coming up in Ink this weekend. Also, DLC in Ghent is going to be coming up in the weekend after that. So a lot more information is going to be had. We're going to have another episode next week, I believe, maybe before Ghent, to kind of do some predictions and talk about what the meta is going to be, and maybe kind of recap what's happening at CCQ in Ink Open. None of you guys are going to that, right? Lamb, are you going to Ink Open? I know that's in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there. It's like super close for me.
Okay. That's in your neighborhood, so you'll be there. I'll be there.
I might go. I'm still undecided. I'll decide to.
Thiago's gonna go. You got to get that American invite, man.
You need the elo. You need the elo, man.
Yeah, get that elo. Get your elo up, dude. So I know you guys might not be there, but it's going to be a good time either way. So I expect to see you guys all there. We'll talk about that event next week, and then we'll prepare for Ghent the weekend after that. So it's a lot to do with Lorcana, and I want to thank you guys all for being here and being a part of this. But as we always do here on the Procast, there's always going to be a giveaway as we end the show a little bit. Last weekend we did the giveaway by Frank drawing some cards. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see that, but maybe we can get somebody else to either draw some cards or we'll figure something else out. So the giveaway today is going to be, I believe, all of the puzzles. If I'm reading this correctly, one each Lorcana puzzle: Amber, Ruby, Emerald, and Sapphire. So 4 puzzles going out to one person for the giveaway today. So if you guys are at home listening and you want your chance to win one of those giveaways, make sure you pay very close attention because we're about to do that now. All right, so we got one giveaway. Frank, we already know you're go to that drawing. Ed, I don't want to see you drawing. We're going to get DKP to draw. How's that? We're going to get the world champion to draw. Are you ready?
Yo,
you ready,
how does
world
it work?
champ? All right, so how it works.
What do I need to do?
I'm going to send you this link here. All right, we're going to get you to draw. All right, it's going to be easy. It's so easy. You got to draw with your mouse, though, so that might be a little bit difficult.
Show me. Where's the link?
I'm going to send it to you right now. Give me just one sec. All right, so I'm going to copy this link, and then I will send this to you. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to send this in to you right about now. Give me just one more sec if my computer can take it. This bad boy is wanting to blow up over here. Give me just... All right. Give me a sec. Here we go. And then I'll post it. I'm gonna post it in the voice channel here, so you can see it. All right, it's in the voice chat. So there it is. I just sent the Video Ninja link there. For the it should pull up. It should pull up like a. Oh, never mind. That's not the right one. I'm gonna send you a different one. Wrong link. That's wrong. Don't click on that one. That's wrong. That's fake news. Do not click on that one. That's fake. A fraudulent link.
Already.
Oh, you already clicked it? Oh no, too fast. Okay, how about this one? Try this one. All right, so it opens up a whiteboard.
Yeah.
And then you just share that screen that you're drawing on into the Discord.
Okay, one sec. Share screen.
Perfect. All right, are you sharing now? Okay, cool. Give me just one more sec, and then I can pull this up into the stream. All right, so now click on start, that button that says start down there. Yep. All right, now change your color from like that bright green at the top, change it to like white so you can see it. Perfect. All right. So now I'm gonna pop you out, and then I'll send you a card that you need to draw, and it's going to work. I can feel it. I can feel it. Okay.
Oh, and then whoever guesses it,
Whoever
wins,
guesses
or what?
whoever guesses it is going to win. That's how we did it last time,
okay,
and
I
it worked.
see,
It worked out quite nice.
Oh my god!
A lot of pressure. No pressure.
Oh,
I'm telling you right now, Frank is goated. Okay, Frank is like the best that I've seen so far. Like he is goated hard. All right. So give me just a second.
Okay.
Give me just a second. Let me crop you in so people can see, and then we'll get it started there. So we'll go back to this, and then we'll do. Oh man, this junk is. Sorry. Technical issues. I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't prepared. I need to be prepared next time. I'll be prepared better next time. All right. Let's see. Move this up. Man, this junk is not working. All right. So it should be good now. It should be on the screen, and everyone should be able to see your screen. I can see your screen. The viewers at home should be able to see your screen, and then we are going to get started. So I'm going to send you a card, and then that card you have to draw. Or is there a card that you want to draw? Don't make it too obvious. Make it something difficult. Make it kind of hard. This is 4 puzzles that has been given away, DKP. So make it tough. If there's a card you feel comfortable drawing that you have on your desk or something that you can look at and draw, go ahead and start. So that way even I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Exact name? They need to do exact name, right?
They got to do exact name. Exact name. You guys ready out there? Let me pull the jet up so I can see.
Wait a sec. I need the reference.
All right. Even Rob drew well. All levels of skill. Well, okay. Rob was good, but I think Frank was clearing.
Damn.
All right, you ready?
Okay. A difficult card, but not too difficult.
If you need me to pick, I can pick. Let me see. I'll give you
I pick one, and I'm also looking for one.
And it can be from any set. It doesn't have to be like from your deck or anything like that.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. All right. Yo, what's going on? Why are we getting so many DKP-ceptions here? What's happening? DK-ception. Oh no. Oh, it's on me. Oh, I see what's happening here. My bad. I shared the screen into the screen. It's almost sent us into the matrix there. All right. And then we have this. And then we have this.
Okay. I think I have a card.
All right, go for it. You guys ready? Everyone at home ready? The first person that can guess, they get the 4 puzzles here for being a part of the Metafy. You guys get the giveaways from what I understand. Every week there's going to be another giveaway, so make sure you tune in and tell your friends that this is something that is happening here. So, DKP, whenever you're ready, go for it.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
I think I start with like something that's not so obvious.
Okay, I like it. I like that. Make it a little more challenging. Okay. Man, I don't know what you got going on here. Like some train tracks.
Literally cannot guess the card
Okay.
from this. It's like the detail of the card, so I'm just starting with this. Else, it might be too easy.
Nah, keep going. You're locked in.
Okay. Then we go. Oh damn.
Hold up. I think something's happening to the stream. Give me a sec, because I don't make sure we're still.
Okay.
I think we're still. Oh, we're still good. We're still good. Just making sure the stream is still there. I can't see the chat. Just making sure the chat is still going.
Damn. Okay, wait. Can I erase that? No, I can only erase like this.
Oh, you can erase a little
Okay,
bit.
wait. I got it. Don't worry.
Oh, but
Not that
DKP, you might
important.
have to text me what it is so I can actually see what you're drawing because I don't know
Oh,
what. Just if you text me your answer, so I'll know what it is, so I can tell if someone gets it right. But I cannot see the chat either.
okay. Good.
Okay. All right. Stream's good. Cool. All right. I see what you're drawing now. Oh, this is good now. Now that I see it, it makes kind of sense. It makes kind of perfect sense. Now that I can see it, this actually looks quite nice.
That's
Oh, this is
kind
good.
of nice, right?
Yeah, it looks good. Now that
Okay,
now that you explained it, now I get it. Now I get it. Oh, if you add one little piece, I think someone's gonna get it right away.
Yeah, I'm not adding that yet.
Okay. Yeah. Uh-oh. We got some guesses coming in. They are all wrong so far. They're all wrong so far. You haven't gotten any. Oh, yeah, there we go. No one's got it right yet.
What?
No one's got it yet.
That's
Bro, I know this one.
That's what I'm saying.
yo. He's
Actually
trying
good.
to win the
Actually
puzzle.
good.
Actually goaded. Okay, we're still coming in.
Okay, wait.
Oh, Flynn Rider's insane. Yo!
Dang, we have a winner.
We got a winner. We have a winner chicken dinner. Heartbound is going to be the first person to post and get the win. Heartbound. Yo, looking at this pick, DKP, I think you nailed it, man. I think you nailed it. I really do.
Good, right?
I'm impressed. I mean, it's no Frank Karsten, by the way, but it's pretty good.
Oh.
It's no Frank Karsten, by the way. It looks pretty good, though. It looks pretty good.
Wait.
Okay. So here it is. That's Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, and that's going to be enough for the winner, who is going to be Heartbound. Is going to take that one out. So GG's, well played to all. But gentlemen, I think this was a great episode. As always, I love being here, and I'm starting to love your guys' feedback on what you had to say, and how this whole thing went. I'm certain we still got a couple things that we can clean up to make it a lot better.
Oh no, Dula got it right. Dula got it right.
Oh, Dueler?
Oh no, Hardbound. Okay.
Hardbound got it
Hardbound
first.
said Dula. Yeah, Hardbound is in the chat first.
Oh, unless they have
Do
Oswald.
you use the full name or like only one name?
I mean, we'll have to leave that up to judge. We'll let Scammer be the deciding factor on that because Heartbound just said Oswald, but Dueler said Oswald Lucky Rabbit.
I mean, there's only one Oswald, I guess.
Yeah,
so
very true.
be fine.
Very true. I think
There
I
would
think
be
Heartbound should win.
multiple. I guess yeah.
I think Heartbound can win. But gentlemen, as we start to close the show out, we'll go and pass it around one quick time. Any other special shout outs you guys might have or anything that we need to look out for, please go ahead and take the time. The floor is yours. We'll start with you, Frank, and then we'll go to Ed, we'll go to DKP, and then we'll go to the faceless guys in the sidelines if they're still there, Thiago and Lamb Chops.
Well, shout out to Lamb Chops because he almost won the DLC. Like amazing record, excellent result, another golden Mickey. So yeah, definitely the World Class Cards champion of the weekend.
For sure.
Thank you.
For sure. It was a great performance, man. 3 golden Mickeys is nothing to laugh at. I think having 3, DKP has 5, Lamb has 3. You're catching up, Lamb. You're gonna have 5 here soon. Keep it going.
Yeah, he's now in the 3 Mickey club, which is Ed, Zan, Italian guy, Luca, and
Yeah.
Lamb. Frank, do you have 3? You have 2 or 3? 2. Okay. Yeah. So four people. So kind of nice.
That's pretty cool.
And shout out to the WCC boys. Traveling with you guys is always super fun. I'm literally seeing Thiago and Ed every weekend. It feels like.
More than
And
your own
Lamb.
family sometimes.
Actually, yes.
That's kind of cool. So you guys can travel the world. Ed, you got some shout outs you want to have or anything special you want to say?
No, man, I see these guys every day, man. I say whatever I need to say when I see them. So,
Man, you got to shout out to the people out that are watching and maybe
shout out
watching
to
this.
the people. Yeah, thanks for supporting us, guys. Yay.
Shout out to the
Thanks.
job.
You guys are terrible, dude. We got to get some media training up in here. Thiago, show him how it's done, Thiago. Give him a real shout out.
All right. Yep. As always, thank you everybody for watching. We would not be able to do it without the support of all of you guys. So thank you very much. Next week we will be doing our Ghent preparation episode. So we'll probably be discussing what we think the meta is going to look like and what kind of decks people are sort of leaning towards, some of the questions up in the air about the metagame, and kind of some things we're going to consider as we talk about how we're going to arrive at our deck list for Ghent. We will also be at an Airbnb for the team in Ghent, so I'm sure there will be a lot of more content coming out when we are all in person, so that'll be something exciting to look out for. And now I'm going to pass it over to DLC runner-up, Jonathan Lam.
See, you see that, Ed? You see that? This is why this guy. You
Bro,
learn
professional.
professional over here. That's what I'm talking about. And he passed it off too. This is what we need. We need more media training. Thiago, you're in. All right. I know you don't want to be in, but you're going to be in, big dog. All right. All right. Go ahead. Take it away, Lamb. Second place, runner-up, DLC, almost champion, man. Woo.
Yeah, just want to say thank you to everyone who supports us. You guys are really honestly this Lorcana community, and you guys are really the reason why I keep playing. Just want to say thank you again to the team, WCC, DKP Ed and Thiago, and Frank too. Just honestly, you guys investing in me and has been so helpful in my growth as a person and as a player. So eternally grateful to you guys. It's kind of silly because we're just going to see each other next weekend, the week after that, and probably the week after that. So I'll see you guys around, and thanks to JDZ for hosting this podcast.
Absolutely, man. I'm happy to be here, and just being around so much greatness all the time. It's going to make me a better content creator, better broadcaster, better player, and just overall better person. You guys are awesome too, and seeing you guys so much is just a little bonus. I'm not coming to Ghent. I had some things happen in my life, and I'm not going to be able to make it to Ghent, but I will be coming to the Ink Open next weekend, and then I'll be going to the Glimmer Games the weekend after that, or the 2 weeks after that, and then I'll be going to a multitude of other tournaments throughout the week. So I'm sure I'll see you guys, or throughout the months coming up, and I'm sure I'll see you guys multiple times throughout then. But still, what a great show. Episode number 7 is in the books. There will be more coming. I'm gonna start doing a little bit more for the YouTube as well. I got to talk to the boss and see if that's something that we're going to be interested in. So hopefully you guys are following us on this journey. Thank you all for being here. Make sure you tell a friend. And that's it. So episode number 7 of the World Class Procast is going to be signing off. As always, I'm JDZ. I'm on the quest. Shout out to the real ones.